What's good, ladies and gentlemen? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below. I think. I don't know. It's supposed to be, but whatever. Here's the thing. I'm going live on this topic right now. As you can see the title, Why Black Men Are on Strike. I went in a little bit yesterday and good. But I'm going to take it, I'm going to less anger or passion, whatever y'all want to call it. It's not less animation, but I'm gonna lay this down because people might be listening at work and I ain't, or people off because I'm just off today. So I'm gonna do this in a nice way. What's up, well, honey? Alicia, what's going on? So the title of this is, as you can see, is Why Black Men Are on Strike, and I'm gonna just get into the topic now. Reason number one. What's up, classy young man? Um, on strike. What the as an upbringing. See, the thing about it is, black men's upbringing as boys. When you become a man, you kind of, you're not as sometimes you're not as open to helping people because you were raised harshly. A lot of things that boys don't necessarily talk about, or sometimes they do, or men talk about rather. This idea. Thanks, G Star. You know, what's up, Vern? Ronan? Um, headphones. Uh oh. I'm sorry, Aubrey. I ain't see you there. Uh, but here's the thing: people were raised harsh because when you were boys, they told you we're gonna make you a man. They're gonna make a man out of you. But a lot of that time, it was really um, they perverted that. It just meant I'm gonna be extra hard on you. You get what I'm saying? That's what it was about. And you raise the boys when you extra hard on them, and you hard on them because you want them to quote unquote be productive men. But the thing about that upbringing is you want them to be productive men. You want them to be so hard and harsh and so go getter ish that they can pull you out of the situation that you're in. So you got us as young boys want with the responsibility of dragging the family out of the community per se. You know what I'm saying? Are you wearing headphones so you can listen? I got you. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Aubrey. But I'm gonna keep it less animated. Um, so the boys you raise harsh. You got to be a man. You got to be this. You got to be that. I need you to man up. And this happens when you're a young boy. This happens when you're young. What's up, Pop Smoke Jr? What's going on? Darnell, what's going on? It's like, so now you're a young boy and you got to walk to school in a blizzard uphill both ways because nobody wants to give you a ride because we're going to make a man out you. You know what I mean? That the idea that we're going to put you in the harshest of circumstances and situations as a rite of passage to make a man out you. See, the thing about rites of passage was you wasn't putting people in, you were training people up to handle adversity. You wasn't just giving them daily adversity just because now it doesn't look like you're actually trying to raise these boys to be men. It looks like you're trying to put these boys through a torture chamber, and then it is what it is. If they make it, they're the strong ones. If they don't, you're not supposed to play Darwinism with children. You know what I mean? Dollar Washer. Thanks, Dollar Washer. He's a cook. No, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna cook, but I'm gonna cook without cussing for hopefully. You know what I'm saying? What up, man? You're smiling. So that's the thing. Yeah, Black Sparta. Exactly. Well, Black Sparta. He wants you to be as hard as possible. And the crazy part about it is, BGS will talk about it. Brother Tia Johnson will talk about it. Sometimes I talk about it. Sometimes even O'Shea and them talks about it. What's up, Richie Rich? Appreciate you, Devin. What's going on, Shug? About the boys not being up to par in school. Well, that's a family issue. That's part of the upbringing. You don't really care about if these boys are smart or not, because The goal isn't that your child become a scientist or architect or engineer or a dentist. I went to the dentist today. I got a root canal, so I thought about it. You know, a doctor. When I see now, I look at people differently. What's happening, Cindy? Cool. I'm glad you're here from Montreal. You gonna cook some sweet potato? Nah, I ain't gonna cook no sweet potato crunch today, player. Not today. You know, that stuff good too, man. My coworkers still be hounding me about that. But you don't do that. You know, I started thinking about it like, man, what I never had, me personally, I never had a direction that somebody said, you need to go be this. I'm gonna push you to this and I'm gonna tell you why you should be this. And, you know, because it does this and you can make this amount of money. And if you, I never had that. I had go to school and get an education. But because the second person to graduate college on my mother's side. And I think I'm like the third on my father's side, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so it was about go to school and kind of set the precedence, but not really. Yeah, I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get that, Akatsuki. I, I'm messed up right now. What's up, Tony Davis? You know, it's part of that too. You know, that's gonna be my next point. So don't worry, I'm coming down the pike with that. But it's the upbringing of not just go do it to be a man without a plan. They want us to be men, but they bring us up to be men, but don't have without a direction, just so we could just, you know, go do. And part of what the brother's talking about, to be servants. That's the second part about why black men are on strike, because, you know, part of the harsh upbringing is that you raised to be used. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mom. You know, you George was popping. You know, so it's weird because, you know, people don't think about, we're not getting the education or advanced degrees, you know, quote unquote, because women in general are getting more degrees than men. So it's not just that. But, you know, we're raised to do something for everybody else. And the sense of it is either do something for everybody else or be willing to do something for everybody else, or take everybody else's punishment because we're built for it tough. While we was getting the upbringing of being harsh, now we could take all the slings and arrows from everybody if they having a hard day. Prometheus was popping, man. You know, Seneca, what's going on? And that's the problem. So now we raise harsh, but harsh to be used. I get to take out my anger on you. What's going on, Naima? How you doing? You know, you get to take out your anger, your frustrations. You get to blame, you know, us for things that go on in life. You know, I know people got mad at the Hillary Clinton thing, going back to the super predators, but you got to understand, we're raised like that as like beasts of burden, to the point when you realize this when you become an adult, like, oh, okay, if I don't make $1 million or if I don't become a millionaire, I'm worthless in this family, because my job is to get the family out of debt. What's going on, Sister George? How you doing? You know, yeah, be a human sacrifice. You know, forced to drag up. Yeah, it is quite common too, honey. But I think with the guys, it's a bit different because, you know, they don't care about you. They never did. And why I say they never care about you, they never cared. This is why the guys are going on strike, because we're in a community that doesn't want to address the fact that you never cared about us in the first place. You know, it's not just when you look at us as men. The women don't know how to love us as men because they taught to care about us as boys. We were enemies. You know, that fathers and the mothers made it that way. You know, these boys out here no good. They're gonna be doing this, that, and the third. They were just boys. You put it in their head that the boys was just gonna be up to no good and trying to get all in your daughter's skirt, and he was an enemy early on. So how you treating this guy? Like he's somebody that needs to be used because he has an agenda. See, we talk about the male quote unquote agenda, but we don't talk about people's agenda to demonize the men even before they're men. That's a problem. Thanks, classy young man. Keith, what's happening, man? all the sisters laugh at my way of saving money, but like yeah, I'm down. I've been down that road plenty of time. Been down that road. KDR, what's happening? Tyrone, what's going on? And so you're raised to be used because you're not a, I was listening to something T.I. said. I think he was on a Red Table Talk. He said, that's the irony of it. If you don't provide for your family, you're less of a man. But if you provide everything for your family, you're controlling. So see, this is part of the thing that's in the community where, if you don't do stuff for everybody else, you're not a real man. But if you do everything for everybody else, you're not here to control me, because it ain't just with the women, it's with the men in general. Because if you eating off of somebody, all of a sudden, there ain't nobody. There's no respect, because you supposed to be here to use. That's your job, is to be able to be used. You're an instrument of God to be used. But the problem is, you're only raising us to be used. And I see the same things that even the women complain about guys being adults and just using women and pumping and dumping them and not taking them seriously and not committing to them. I mean, I don't think y'all took into consideration that these men, when they become men, are treating the women the same way that the community treated them. Not taking them seriously, just using them, pumping and dumping them, getting them for something, whether it's a favor, whether it's money, whether it's their time, their efforts. They got to be there for you, but then you leave them hanging. They're doing the same thing that was done to them. But you want these guys to be men, be a real man, and take all the slings and arrows, and then be this benevolent creature who's gonna forget everything that was done to them and forget that the ways people have come at them and used them and manipulated them and treated them over their whole lifetime, since from childhood to adulthood. And you really thought these guys was going to just act like that didn't exist? They don't. The men don't. Like, that's the issue, And this is why the men are going on strike, or have went on strike to a degree. This is part of the issue. Now, and the third thing I got to talk about on this part is rewarding the worst. See, our community has a habit of rewarding, quote unquote, men, because the men that are the most manly are usually the worst. They're usually considered the criminal element. Those are the most masculine men, not the men that provide, not the men that protect, the men that are criminals and always in something. So now you want to reward them. And I'm not talking about the women reward them with sex. I'm talking about the family rewards them with always looking out for them. You get what I'm saying? If you have, you don't even need girls in this situation. If you have 2 or 3 boys, the boy that's going to be neglected the most is the one that's a straight arrow. That's the one that's going to be neglected the most. The one that's going to school, getting good grades, he's going to be neglected the most. He's going to be the one that, oh, you're going to make some of yourself. So guess what? We're not even concerned about you. But your brother here, keeps getting in trouble. We got to do something about that. And I understand that, kids who get in trouble need help, but there comes a point where you're not supposed to help them more. This is not the squeaky wheel get the oil. This is not that situation. You're talking about human beings here. So you mean to tell me the one that you're going to pay the most attention is the one that causes the most trouble, and the one you're going to neglect is the one that's doing their best to progress in life. They actually got an idea what they want to do with themselves. They actually have a direction. They actually have a dream and aspiration. They don't have a get rich quick type scheme. They have, I'm gonna get good at this. I'm gonna grind it out. I'm gonna keep working, and then hope. And one day, I hope I'm gonna be something doing this. And I can say that even when it comes to guys who play sports and do music. Normally, the vast majority of those guys, they are good character individuals, because they're always working, whether they're in school working, they're in school working to make sure that they can play, or they're in school interacting with people, making sure they learn how to and writing and doing things like that. Hey, what's up, Erica? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Erica. That's what I'm talking about too. rewarding the worst is this point. When you reward the worst, everybody's gonna suffer. And I remember years ago, one of my good friends, he's a doctor. He's my best friend's, one of my best friend's cousin, and he's a doctor. What's up, Rollo, man? Hotep, thanks, man. Jeremiah 31:20. The thing about that, Gregory, what's happening? He's a doctor, and I remember him saying he makes sure he lives at least an 8-hour drive away from his hometown. That way nobody is going to pop up at his house, because everybody in the family says they love that he's a doctor. That's the doctor of the family. What's happening, Chaos? Corin, what's going on? Quran, I'm sorry. They love that he's a doctor, but he's like, when I was in school, didn't nobody care. When I was one, nobody care. When he started making money and they saw how he started living, that's when they were proud of him. But the people who were doing all the shenanigans, that's who everybody was gravitating to. You know what I'm saying? So you wonder why these guys are on strike is because when it comes to the guys who you would say are good character individuals, a hardworking men or that, you never rewarded them for being hardworking and good. I remember the church back in the day paying the kids who made the honor roll. I remember that. And I remember the family back in the day giving the kids extra money when you had good grades. I remember that, but I remember that slowly eroding, and the kid who was always got in trouble, they got sneakers and clothes. The kid who always got in trouble, we want to take you places to expand your mind and expand your horizons. Let's take you here. Let's take you there. Let's do this for you. Let's show you this. Let's show you that. You see, this is a great world out here. Oh, yeah. Now, Maxwell, what's happening? My bad. Emmanuel, and now the other person who was getting A's and B's, guess what happened? Oh, well, we spent all the money on such and such because we wanted to show them there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. How many kids y'all know, who are, how can I say this? When you were a kid, the people who were in like the chess clubs and the science club, you don't even know how they got to school. You don't even know. Sometimes the kids who are athletes, you don't even know how they got to school. You don't know if they walked, if they caught a bus. You don't know if they rode a bike. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about when I'm saying these clubs, because a lot of times they used to have these events and you'd have to be there on the weekends, like early in the morning and whatnot. So, and when I was in high school, I was in the Midwest. So I remember walking in the snow. I remember, at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. I remember all that stuff. I remember, I remember taking hard classes, and teachers, my parents, other students was like, why do that? Why are you gonna do that? Why are you gonna take hard class? You could just get good grades. And I'm like, I'm trying to go to college, man. I heard too many stories of people who went to college and took all the easy classes in high school and wound up dropping out or failing or being on academic probation. I wasn't rocking with that. But I also remember, when it came time for scholarships, the coaches used to do stuff like, you should get this kid. He's a little bit troubled, Oh, so the guys who were in the gangs and who were selling drugs, those are the guys that were, all they just need is the help. But the guys who actually were good and didn't get in trouble, oh, you know what I'm saying? They're all right. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's the third thing. But the fourth thing about why black men are on strike, or reasons why, I should have put reasons why. Daddy issues. And what I mean by daddy issues is some of us had dads who weren't involved. That's true. And some of us had dads who fought to be involved. And, the old thing, you just like your daddy ain't no good. I don't want you to be just like your daddy type of thing. So now you got daddy issues without even talking to your daddy. You got daddy issues without even being around your daddy. And the reason why I bring this particular part up, why the guys on strike, because the men, you grow to be from a boy to a man. You go from being a boy to a man, and you become a father. And now you got daddy issues, and then you realize as a father, oh snap, wait a minute. Am I in the same position that my dad was in? So sometimes you become that guy. You know, you become, the daddy who is the next kid's daddy issue, because now you don't want to be like your dad. Even if your dad was a good dude, you don't find this out until later. If your dad is hardworking, you might not find this out until later. If your dad is actually a competent man, you won't find this out until later. But you're gonna go through your teenage years, your childhood and your teenage years with daddy issues, and then you're gonna become an adult, and then you're gonna decipher if all of your daddy issues were actually real, and if all of the things you did because of your daddy issues were actually had anything to do with your dad. And I would say it's about 50-50. Half of it is and half of it ain't. And you wind up being angry at the community because the half that ain't your daddy issues, now you got played. And everybody around you don't trust. You know what I'm saying? So you don't trust, and I hate to say it this way, but the made up daddy issues are gonna make you not trust your mother. And it's not gonna make in your mother's side of the family. Because at some point as you grow up, you're gonna know, oh, okay, everybody was in on it. Hold on for a second. Manny, what's good? T Ray, what's up? Great Black Shark, what's happening? Tiff, what's going on? And I have a 40-year-old plus brother that doesn't work and didn't buy his church, and I called him bitter because I don't. Oh, whew. Yeah, and I was called bitter. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I can't even say nothing about that, Tiff. To be perfectly honest with you, I told my son he wasn't getting nothing for Christmas because he had a bad attitude most of the year. And I'm like, I'm not rewarding bad behavior. You got a bad attitude, you don't get nothing. But I get it. But I did work and I had the money to do it, but I'm not rewarding bad attitude. That's just not my thing. But here we go. We striking. Hey, what's up, Edward? But so here's the thing, you got these daddy issues, and then you like, okay, okay? I was mad about this, and when I was mad about this, I acted like this, and when I acted like that, now I find, oh snap, like, oh yeah, Devin, I don't reward bad behavior. I don't. I never believed in that. Never believed in that. Never. Happy New Year to you too. Now the other thing about the daddy issues is you take that out into the community, because if you got daddy issues, now the same way you taught the girls that the men are no good, fathers don't find it. Exactly. I got what you're saying, Paul. Now you say the men are no good. Now you're looking at the other guys in the community. You have this animosity towards guys in your age group that have nothing to do with it. You got this animosity towards teachers who are men who have nothing to do with it. Now you go out into the world with this animosity, but you want to be a victim. See, you going out here starting stuff and being mean and mean-spirited and rude because you got daddy issues, but now you want to be a victim. You don't want to take responsibility of maybe it's you. So when it comes to that part, you're not really held accountable. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna say your dad is not held accountable until you get out into the world. And once you get out into the world and you start to realize, wait a minute, this is the type of things that I got to go through. This is the type of things that as I go through as a man and as a father, nobody told me about that. Then your daddy issue is going to get sky high, because you might wind up saying you had conversations with your dad and y'all got into it about him trying to prepare you for the life that you was about to have as a man in the world, and you fought him. And now you're going to be like, wait, I did the wrong thing. And now you're going to readjust. I'm not listening to my mom and them. I got to, and now I can't listen to my dad because the relationship is kind of strained. So now I'm stuck. So I'm going to put this whole community on pause. The whole Black community, y'all on pause, because I can't trust none of y'all. Because now I don't know which way is up at this particular point. You know what I'm saying? What's my email address? Hold on, Cora. You really catch me in the middle of this, fam. You do realize that, right? I'm actually doing something at the moment, but I got you, man. I got you. Okay, that's some rude ass shit, though. But I'm just saying, fam. Just saying, you know. But that's part of the thing where now you don't trust the community. You don't. So the other thing is, and I touched on it earlier. The fifth part why the guys on strike is because you treat it as an enemy. And I don't think as a community, y'all realize how bad this is. I got you, man. I got you. I don't think we realize how bad it is. When I talked about it earlier, when you say the young boys you tell the little girls to watch out for the boys because they just want to get between your legs when they kids. And watch out for the young boys because a lot of that you created them between this enemy relationship between the boys and the girls. And at the same time, you created the enemy relationship between the boys and the girls. You actually told the boys to start lying to the girls at that same age. Now they think you up to no good, and the men and the women are telling you, well, you gotta finesse them, you gotta talk to them like this, you gotta get a little game. So they basically gamed you up to be their enemy and hustle these chicks at an early age because they already told them that you're no good, and then they're telling you gotta portray a slick no good to get at them. Like it's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like Cash Money Records. You hear me? So now you're an enemy. And then it goes a little further than that, because if you play sports, you're taught about rivalry and competition. And why I say this, because this goes outside of the community too. If you're good, people try to hurt you if you play sports. They don't want to play clean. They want to cut you off at the knees. They want to low bridge you. You know what I'm saying? They want to try to break something on you. They're trying to hurt. They're trying to make sure if you're good, you'll never make it. Same thing if you're in class and you're smart and you're a guy, they're going to undercut you. They're going to disrespect you. They're going to do something to try to make you go off or have a blow up so they can label you as disruptive. You know what I'm saying? So now you're dealing with this situation where you everybody's enemy because, and you're seeing and as a man, as a boy, as a young boy, you're seeing everybody else who can compete, but nobody's coming at them like that. You're not seeing them do the same thing to the white guys. You're not seeing them do the same thing to the Hispanic guys. You're not seeing them do the same thing to the Asian guys. You're not seeing them do the same thing to the Middle Eastern guys. You're not. But everybody's coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Don Calypso, what's happening, man? So now you're looking at everybody as an enemy. And then you, like I said, when you're talking to the girls, you're kind of viewed as an enemy because you got to remember not just the what do you call that? It's not just the dating aspect. It's the adulthood aspect of you need to go to school and get an education so you don't have to depend on no man. So the family also taught the kids that these boys ain't gonna be nothing or make it to a positive position in life anyways. So you disrespecting these young men when they're young men, and you ain't no man. And I remember being younger, and part of the girls liking older guys was he's more of a man than you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we the same age, and you talking about I'm not a real man. You're not even grown yet. What are you talking about? But it was that enemy thing, Oh yeah. I definitely get that we give each other horrible advice. I definitely get that, Tiff. Oh, I got to check you out, Edward, because I know Great Black Shark says something. I appreciate it, Katie. Now the thing about the enemy, these guys are on strike because you're not really a friend. You're not a friend. You can't be a friend because you don't know how to be a friend. And now and people are accustomed to treating you that way or treating us that way to the point where a lot of times brothers just check out. You just check out, not like I ain't dealing with it. Why? I'm just not dealing with it. And a lot of times this enemy, this adversarial aspect, you get mad at the men when they don't want to be an adversary, when they want to be left alone or be at peace. And the same thing goes on with guys who are in the streets and sometimes not in the streets. It's that adversarial thing. Now, I will say this, with the men, that adversarial nature kind of dies out in your, I would say mid-20s at the top. Because if you in the community, it's probably mid-20s. But if you wind up going to school in the military, it's probably your early 20s where the camaraderie is there and it's not all this beef. People do dumb stuff, but it's not as much beef. But the other thing I got to talk about, the sixth part about it, is why the guys on strike is because there's no kindness. When I said, when you treat the guys as enemy, you're not nice to them. A lot of times, how can I say this? A lot of times you're not nice and you think it's cool to be not nice. You think it's cool to go back on your word. You think it's cool to use a guy. You think he's there to be used. You think he's there to be played. You think I'm going to get him before he get me. I got to talk to him crazy. I got to talk to him reckless. I got to lie to him and set him up for failure. But you want that same guy to have this Jesus type of heart for you. You want to say you got a lot of issues going on. You got this, that, and the third going on. But so, like I said earlier, they need to be your whipping stick. And the guys are like, no, you're not kind. And like yesterday, I had to get my car fixed. And I was upset about this and I'm still upset to a degree. So I couldn't even fix it myself. I got halfway done and I couldn't fix the rest. But here's the problem. The brother told me a time. He told me, I called him at 12. I told him it was 12:30. He said he could be there at 2:30. He didn't get there till 4:30. But he wanted to be paid in full. He drove past me to go to the shop and then come back to me. But he wanted to be paid in full. And I told him flat out, I said, hey, man. And he's like, you should, I'm a mechanic. If something else happens, I'm like, I'm not going to call you again. I'm not. It's like, dude, I was out here 4 hours. You told me to. I got 2 cars, so it wasn't a big deal. I started running errands. So I was like, man, this is stupid. Plus, it was New Year, so whatever. But I know for a fact, if that was a white guy, he knew I was a white guy, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that. He'd have been on that sir, yes, sir tip. You know what I'm saying? It's no kindness. But I let people know stuff like that. I really don't care about that. Phil, what's happening, man? Pop, what's going on? Dedrick, what's happening? My bad. So it's part of that, I want you to look out for I want you to be kind to me, but it's my right to not be kind to you. It's like, no. And this is part of why I say the men are on strike, because, it's the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated. And people are upset about the men being trash, but the men are treating you how they've been treated. You can't ask these guys to be kind to you if you've been so unkind to them for so long. I'm not saying 2 wrongs make a right, but what I'm saying is it's going to make you even. I said that before. It's going to make you even. What's going on, Carl? So that's part of the issue. You're not kind to these guys, and you're expecting these guys to have a kind heart. How many guys, when we talk about guys being simps, what does that normally encompass? Them being too kind. When people saying this person is too nice. And the other thing about the no kindness thing is when you're not nice to these guys, whether it's, even with the men, and you go off, when these guys start going off back and start checking folks and start doing people bad, then all of a sudden, either they're going to say, I knew you was always like that. So basically what you're saying is this person was kind to you, but in your mind, they was an enemy. So you was going to mess with them until they had enough of you and blew up on you. And then they justified everything you did to them, which is stupid. Or on the flip side, you're going to say, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? You're just supposed to take this whipping I've been giving you, and because that's what a man do. A man is a man. You're supposed to take it. And the reason I say that is because even in the community, in our community, men and women, older, younger, they think men are supposed to just take your shots. Every time you go out, bad attitude, bad intentions, bad words. You know, and what I mean by bad words, you know, unkept promises. You're supposed to take every sling and arrow and keep moving because that's what a man does. But they don't put that on other men. You're not gonna do that to white men. You're not gonna do that to Hispanic men. You're not gonna do that to Asian men. You're not gonna do that to Arab men. You're not gonna do that. All of a sudden, you're on your best behavior. You're gonna treat people with respect. But with us, no kindness. You know. So that's why the guys are on strike, because it's like, yo, you're not nice whatsoever. You're not nice whatsoever. And then you get upset about that. But I would not put up with attitude that belongs to it. And I'm a kind, decent, lovable woman, but I will not put up with the attitude I get that belongs to another woman. That's so weak to me. I don't get it, fam. I might be missing something. Hold up. Want to be monsters they see every time and look in the mirror. Yeah, I get it, cynical. Now let me get to this other part, though. The seventh part that I got to talk about is no reciprocity. A lot of this stems around a lot of brothers are tired of getting nothing or getting very little because the reciprocity is just on negative, and you would think that people will come to the understanding that, I need to do something more for these guys, but you don't. And I'm talking about the guys who actually put in the work, they actually do the good things and do the good deeds and are there for you. And they've been your friend and your neighbor, your boyfriend, your husband, your best friend, your dog, your road dog. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. Because what happens is, as a man, it's like, I can't even recall the amount of times that I've actually helped someone. And I'm not saying that in a negative thing, like I hate helping people, but I can't put a number on it because I don't even think about it because it's just natural. But I can recall every time something was done for me because it was so few times. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very appreciative when people go out of their way to do stuff because it happens so few times. And I ain't even gonna lie, I'm one of those people who it kind of throws me off, and I'm kind of like, you ain't got to do nothing because I'm not accustomed to getting it. So that's a part of me that I got to work on. But I'm accustomed to no reciprocity, and I'm accustomed to people being what's up, American Brazilian, and I'm accustomed to people being with the I'm gonna do it later. I got you. I'm gonna look out for you. I'm accustomed to people saying something, and I'm like, yeah, I know that ain't finna happen. I know that ain't finna happen. I ain't even gonna trip. I'm not even gonna sweat it because, even in the dating sense, when it comes to sisters, the time, you did go out of Devin, you went out of your way for me, and I appreciate it, Devin, and I wore that hat today too. I will say that. But when it comes to things like, I met so many women who I'm not cooking. I met so many brothers who, hey, let me hold something. I need to get through a time period. Okay, they disappear. They disappear. What such and such? Hey man, gave some money, blah blah blah. Do somebody a favor, they gone. Or a favor, and then when you ask them for a favor, they get an attitude that they ain't gonna come through for you. It's like, oh okay. But all of this, no reciprocity. All of it is ridiculous. Because at some point, and I don't know, and I'm pretty sure other people are like this. When you see people don't reciprocate with you, but if you're close enough, you'll see them reciprocate with everybody else or with a particular group of people. And they start looking at it like, oh, okay, so you really don't rock with me like that. I'm just here to bail you out of the situations that you get yourself in. I'm just here as a tool to be used from time to time. But when it comes to actually treating me with respect and reciprocity, oh, I'm not that person. It's like, okay. And then the guys go on strike, and I've been in those situations where somebody called me and be like, I'm not helping you. What you mean? I'm not helping you. I helped you already. I helped you numerous times. You know how that ends. I help you. You say thank you. You get an attitude. We don't talk. you know, Forget all that. I'm not helping you no more. And then a lot of times with the reciprocity, you know, um, what's up, Sam? I got you. With the reciprocity, Bo, what's popping? My bad. Happy New Year to you too. When it comes to that reciprocity thing, it even goes into peace. You know, Hey, I'm helping you with your vocab. I'm gonna be the Keith Murray of YouTube with that vernacular. I'm working on it. I got a dictionary somewhere around here. I'm gonna add some more words to it. But but when it comes to that reciprocity, I've noticed that, like, you come to find out where people stand when it's time to do something for you. And I was looking at LeBron James recently because it was his 35th birthday. And he was like, it was an interview, and he was like, "You gonna throw a party?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw a party, but I gotta pay for it." He said, I'm not a wish person. That's what he said. What did you wish for? It's like, I'm not really a wish person. And then he was like, "Well, what do you gonna have a party?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a party, but I gotta pay for it. That's a doggone shame. I gotta pay for you gotta pay for your own birthday nowadays." See, back in the day, you didn't have to pay for your own birthday. People actually threw you a birthday party. They cared about you. Now you throw yourself a birthday party to show everybody you care about you, right? But they'll come and eat for free. So they don't really care about you. They care about a free lunch. I think that's just an American trait now, but that's part of the no reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? That's, like, to the point where nobody's really riding with you like that, but they want you to ride with them till the wheels fall off. And it's a problem. It's a big, big problem. It's a big, big problem. So the guys on strike because they're not getting nothing out of it. And when these guys say, "What are you bringing to the table?" You got to is at that point you got to ask people, "What are you gonna do? If I do this, what are you gonna do? What is your response to me doing this?" A plus B equals C, right? No, A plus B is equals. I don't know what. We're gonna figure it out. Oh, so you want something for little or nothing? No problem. Guys on strike with that. You know what I'm saying? Now, the eighth part about this that bothers me, probably the more than anything else about this topic, why the black men are on strike, is you're watching generations do it again. See, a lot of times you're watching families treat their boys like trash and set them up for failure. You're watching families tell the little girls that the boys are no good again. You know what I'm saying? You're watching them say you're not going to be able to depend on no man again. You're watching the kids have issues at school because, to a degree, they feel like nobody cares again. I was watching a young lady on Instagram recently talking about that commercial. She thought it was a cool commercial, but it bothered her about the kid that went to the Chick-fil-A and the guy at the Chick-fil-A or helped him tie his tie because his grandmother didn't know how. And she was like, you shouldn't have to go to a Chick-fil-A to get somebody to learn how to tie a tie. And she was like, that makes us as a community look bad. And this is the thing, you're watching this all over again. And as a man, when you date, and I've dated single mothers, and one of the biggest turnoffs wasn't, that they were single mothers, is that they were terrible mothers. They're bad parents, and especially with the boys. They didn't care what the boys saw or heard. They didn't care how they treated the boys. It was more of an adversarial thing, even with the sons. And it's like, you don't want to watch it again, so you check out. You don't want to, I don't want to be around you treating your kids like this. You know what I'm saying? When you go out in public and when I see the mothers basically emasculate the sons, and you see the son's either going to look like he a dusty thug, or he going to look very feminine. He going to be walking real American next top modelish, and you looking at it like, okay, so y'all doing this again. Because a lot of times the boys who people consider troubled, they're really boys who are fighting against being effeminized and emasculated. They don't like, their family and friends and teachers emasculating them, so they lash out at that. You know what I'm saying? And then they're troubled because of that. No, they know you're bullying them. But when you're watching this again as a black man, you're like, look, and sometimes you sit down and you talk to these kids, and you're like, listen, man, you got to go this way, because life ain't gonna be easy for you. And that's the thing, when I hate to say it, when I hear people say, we love you, black man, in my mind, I just shake my head like, no, you don't. Your whole life's work, the whole community's life's work has said the opposite of loving black men. The vast majority of it says you've hated black men. And then you get mad at the black men that basically treat you like you treat black men. And when I say watching it all over again, that's part of the issue. Our community doesn't want to take responsibility that all the black men you say are dogs and no good and ain't no good. Y'all dogged them out when they were young. Y'all showed them, y'all were only going to reward no good behavior. So to cry about it when these guys become adults seems asinine when you still hanging out with them. What's going on, Tahaka? You know what I'm saying? You still hanging out with them. You still kicking it with them. You still enabling that behavior. But the guys who are doing the right thing, you don't hang out with them. You want to be around those guys. And that part you watch again too, because you watch the young men who are doing the right thing, you watch them get abandoned. Then you watch the guys who become productive adults. Everybody want to lean up on them and press up on them and then tell everybody else that they got it together. They want these young men to help them get everybody else on their feet and then walk off like, I did this all on my own. Wasn't you living with such and such? Didn't this person help you for 6 months? Didn't this person have your back? Wasn't this person the one driving you back and forth when you didn't have a car, but you did it all on your own? Because it was a black man doing it. You're not gonna tell nobody. So when I watch this type of thing happen in society over and over again, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a strike, yo. Yeah, but the losers are cool. I feel you. Good guys are lame, the losers are cool. Exactly. So, you watching it over and over and over again. And the sad part about it is you see so many young men kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because you know that moment when they're trying to figure out, okay, they lying. It ain't like that for real. And then it's happening to them. They're like, it's like that for real. Because I remember being a young man and when my dad would tell me things that I thought was harsh, I'd be like, why? I would assume that people have better hearts than they do. And he, as I got older, I'm like, oh, okay. They got better hearts with other people who are not black men. But with me as a black man, they don't have that heart. Okay, I got it now. So when you watch it over and over again, and people being that disrespectful, you check out. This is why the guy's on strike. The other thing is, the ninth thing I'm talking about on this one is sabotaging success. A lot of times we don't want to talk about this, but a lot of brothers who are doing the right thing, you sabotage them. Like when they say no snitching for the guys who are in the streets, or no snitching for the people who are playing games with people. If you could lie, cheat, and don't tell nobody, let them get over. But if you're doing the right thing, people will make up ways to snitch on you about stuff. Such and such did that, such and such did that. They're not as good as you think. I know a little dirt about them. It's like, come on, seriously. If a person is getting starting a business, what we gonna do? You're not gonna support it. You're not gonna spend your money with them. Man, exactly, free speech. Come check me out. Nah, you know what I'm saying? I got things to do. What you mean you got things to do? You hang out with everybody else. Everybody else has a grand opening and you can show up. But if I got a grand opening, you can't show up. Oh, okay. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? You sabotage people's success. I've seen people in school, like when you see the young guys, it ain't just the guys who are athletes, they get the fake rape charges in college. It's just regular guys too. You know, that guy's doing the right thing, you sabotaging, Um, and what I mean by sabotage, even financially, when you think somebody's going on the right path, you don't tell them ways to financially get themselves to the next level. You let them, take the hardest road possible because you want them to fail. What's up, Jabari? You want them to fail. It's like, oh, okay. Why didn't they know about that? And I mean, I remember personally as a kid, I cussed out half of my family about that. I told them, I said, when I ask y'all for advice, y'all tell me y'all don't know. Y'all never been in these situations. But when things go left and I hit a wall, I fail at something, y'all, the same people y'all come up to me and you should have did this, you should have did that. Well, I don't know why you didn't do such and such and such. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I ask you this already? Huh? I asked you that already, didn't I? You said you didn't know. So how you know all these answers now? It's like, okay, you want these guys to fail. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes a huge, huge problem because when these guys become grown men and adults and successful or semi-successful, you want them to help you and you want them to help you when at the same time you actually want them to forget that you was trying to sabotage them. What's up, Dorian? That's the problem. And a lot of times, men, as a man, you use a sports reference. A lot of guys play sports, and it's like being recruited. They tell you they want you, they like you, they good for you. Then when you show up, they change your position. or they put you like 17th on the depth chart. I mean, they gonna make you earn it. That's one thing. But if they change your position, you looking at them like, what the hell? You brought me here for this? Oh, I lied to you. Let's see if you can make, chicken soup out of this chicken. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you sabotaging me. If I'm this, you want to make sure I can never be something. So now I gotta make it in spite of. And I remember one of my high school football coach. I still respect that man to this day. He said, you can make it in life, but it's gonna be two ways you can make it. You're gonna make it because of, or you're gonna make it in spite of. Now, it's easier if you're making it because that's other people helping you. But it's harder if you got to make it in spite of, because that means everybody's hurting you. You know what I'm saying? So when people say they got a good team around them, a lot of successful people say they got a good team. A lot of brothers can't say they got a good team, not around them, because the family isn't really the team like that. The community isn't really the team like that. Sometimes your friends might be your best team, but y'all in the same age group. So how much can they really do? Oh no, you kind of picking spots off of each other, trying to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, and what's going on, Tanya? That's the thing, when you sabotage people's success, it is ridiculous. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. This is part of the reason why when they say, if a brother, they throw a party for a brother who come home from jail, but not a homeboy that graduated from college, because they're celebrating his failure. That's what they celebrating, his failure. If he graduated from college, he ain't gonna get that party. They tried to stop him from graduating college, but they applauded him for going to jail. The sabotage worked. So let's party now. Let's party. I'm glad you back home, and you might not ever be able to be productive in society, because even when those guys who get locked up come back, if they try to do something positive with their life, them same people that threw that party, they ain't gonna be rocking with them. All of a sudden, Now they're gonna hold that same past against them. You know, it is what it is. And number 10, I got to talk about it. You know, number 10 is basic. Why black men are on strike is because of entitlement. You know, all this what you supposed to do, what you need to do, who you need to be. You know, how successful you need to be, because a lot of want these men to be successful. You want them to be successful because for some odd reason these men owe you something. You didn't help them, but they owe you something. You didn't teach them, but they owe you something. I inspired you. I spoke to you. You spoke to everybody. So now because you talked to me, now I owe you. Okay. I knew you was gonna make something of yourself. I knew you was gonna do it. Let me talk to you. Let me holler at you real quick. Let me hold something. Huh? Are you tripping right now? You know what I'm saying? So, Quavo, what's happening? You know, like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so now, and I believe. Wait a minute. I have master's degree, and believe me, not many people. Yeah, I mean, I could get that. I get that, Tanya. But a lot of times, you know, as a man, you know, we hear. Let me tell you a quick story, Tanya. My senior year of college, I graduated, and my family previously basically left me homeless while I was in college. I was living with them, paying rent or whatever. And graduation day, I remember them going to my cousin's graduation. By graduation, I said I wasn't even gonna go because I was so upset at my quote unquote family. I was like, I don't even want to see y'all. Out of the car, what's happening? And my day of graduation, I drove to New Orleans to see my grandmother. I actually graduated. I went to see her basically for I think Mother's Day or something like that. She took me to the park. And at this park, a young sister had graduated college. Her family had a barbecue and a crawfish boil in a park. They was deep, all happy for her. And even when I look online, I see sisters graduating, and I see, you know, the pictures and happy thing and this, that, and third. I don't never see that for black men. I don't never see, you know, that people being celebratory with black men like that. I don't never see no congratulations, no parties, no balloons, none of that. None of that. So that's just what it is. Good evening. Oh, my bad. So when I say it, but getting back to the entitlement part, I remember I probably said this before. I can't remember when I said it at though. It's one of those situations where people expect you to be Superman. And Lois Lane syndrome. I was like, people got the Lois Lane syndrome. And Lois Lane, you know, on Superman, when she realized Superman loved her, she put herself in bad situations on a regular basis because no matter who was in the world, Superman always heard her voice. He always listened for her. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Mike, you're right. You know, so the thing about it is, people get entitled and they feel like no matter what these men doing, they need to drop what they doing to help them. These men need to bring peace to your life. These men need to bring order to your life. These men need to be fathers to kids that ain't his. These men actually, you know, you can fight these guys from being fathers. If they're a husband, you're entitled to not really treating them like a husband. He's not entitled to, you're entitled, he's just say, you know, God is the head, God is the leader, he is the head, and you know, you're under the husband, but when you get married to him, you're entitled to say, I ain't got to listen to you. Who are you? You ain't nobody. It's like, and at the same time, you married me, so you're supposed to do your job, but you know, but my job is to undercut you, and you're still supposed to take it. It's like, come on now, because that's a problem. You know, it's a big problem because everybody's entitled. I want your time. I want your money. I want your effort. You owe it to me, and you're not gonna get nothing in return. That's why I talked about that reciprocity thing earlier. you're not gonna get nothing in return. Because think about it. For all the black men in the chat and the black women in the chat, how often do you hear black people in general, say what they gonna do for black men? And I'm not talking about bums. I'm talking about the stand-up guys. How often do you hear, I'm gonna cook that guy a meal, I'm gonna bake that guy a pie, I'm gonna drop that guy $20, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna fill a gas tank up, I'm gonna buy them some groceries, you don't never hear nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Never. Well, you know what? I take what you say, Alucard. Hardly ever. Because I was working during Christmas season, and I was listening to the radio. All the radio talked about was, giving presents to single mothers. Giving presents to single mothers. Let's give the presents to single mothers. It's like, what? Oh, Paul, that salute to you, fam. Salute to you. That's the part of the issue. Like, come on, man. What we doing here? What we doing? And that's the part of the entitlement. Like, when you ask, and I hate to say this, but when you ask to do something, how can I say this? If you say you're gonna do something for a brother, he's not gonna take you seriously. I can guarantee you, he's not gonna take you seriously. He's gonna be like, "Are you serious? You gonna do what? All right. We're gonna, in his mind, it's like, we gonna see, because he ain't accustomed to you doing nothing for him. Nothing. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And this is part of the strike, because and I remember I was talking to an older cat on I think Mr. Fantastic's one of his hangouts. And I was like, and I told one of the old cats, I said, man, all the negative stuff that the men say that they're facing, if your daughter was facing that, would you tell her to still marry these type of guys? He was like, no. I was like, that's the problem. George Megan and the Temptations. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. But that's the issue. And wow. But this is my this is my spiel on this hangout. And George, I'm gonna start this year. So I'm gonna get you on these, because I'm done right now. I'm about to shut it down. I'm gonna get you on when we're gonna come up with a topic for me and you, fam. And it's gonna be the Temptation. It's gonna be the breakup of the Temptations. I don't know if I'm gonna be David and you're gonna be Otis, or you're gonna be Otis and I'm gonna be David, but we're gonna get it together. But I'm gonna get out of here. I want y'all to have a good day. This medication is wearing off, and my jaw is feeling weird. But like, share, subscribe. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Wasn't much cussing if y'all just showed up, so you ain't gonna get in trouble at work. I don't even think I cussed in here. But catch y'all the next time. Peace.